Hello friends, under the God's mighty grace, the Leh Manali Highway has truly been a blessing. In this episode, I'll take you through one of the most beautiful and meaningful stretches of our journey, the ride across the More Plains. Now, when you read it, it might seem like it's More Plains, but it's not More, but it's pronounced as More Plains. Before we enter the plains, there's a small high altitude village called Pang. It lies just before the More Plains begins. It's not much clustered, but there are some food stalls along with the house and upcoming construction sites. Now something quite important happened as soon as we stopped at Pang. We had parked our bike, ordered food. Maggie wanted to have some Maggie noodles and I ordered a coffee. Just then our traveling partner Nono, who had been riding behind us, not so far away, he just crossed us by on the main highway. He didn't see us down below. There was a small side track, not exactly a service lane, but a dirt path that ran almost parallel to the highway, like a pit stop lane. So we had pulled into that track, which was slightly lower than the highway itself, and because of the elevation, not that much difference, but there was a slight bend, and I think he was assuming that we were not there and nowhere to be seen, and he was not that fast but steadily focused on chasing us. Therefore he just completely missed us. Maggie instinctively raised her hand trying to wave him down, but I gently said it's okay, we'll catch up. So we stayed and relaxed for a bit. While we were there, we met a fellow rider, a solo traveler from Mumbai. He told us this wasn't his first time. He had completed this route several times before. His wife, who is a teacher, doesn't share the same interest in long distance riding, so he often travels solo. This time, he had loosely connected with the group as we were there in that cafe. Not a cafe, yeah, a small place to eatery, but preferred to move on his own rhythm. He offered some very helpful advice. He told us it's better that we stayed there. But Nono was ahead of us, and he said that Tanglanla is pretty cold during the night after the sun goes down, and the unpredictable things that can happen in high altitude passes was, I think, what he meant. And especially with the wind, cold, and the lack of oxygen. But he also said that the stretch ahead, the More Plains, would be something we'd truly enjoy. So after finishing our break and conversation, we continued riding. Now this is where a bit of confusion began, since Nono had passed by while we were off the road and didn't see us. He assumed we were ahead of him, so he started maybe riding faster, thinking he had fallen behind. Meanwhile, we were actually behind him, moving at a steady pace. I wasn't rushing. I was little concerned about the fuel, but I had confidence that we'd meet up again soon. I kept around maybe 80 to 90 or maybe 67, not 60, around. Let's not think about the speed. I was not too fast, not too slow, just calmed and measured. The road through the More Plains opened wide in front of us, vast, quiet. It felt like we were riding through a silent sea of golden earth. We passed a few tiny homes, which looked more like shepherd homes, the sign of a simple and rugged life in that remote place. At one point I stopped to refuel from the jerrycan I had, and that turned to be a bit tricky because of the wind. As I poured the petrol, some of it splashed around the tank, and I was worried that it might spill on the engine. I had two fears in that moment. One, because of the pressure at that altitude. I was afraid the fuel which was in the jerrycan might shoot out while opening the can. And second was that hot engine. I feared it could ignite and even with low oxygen level, the strong wind, the fire doesn't need so much of oxygen after all. But by God's grace, nothing happened. We refueled and carried on safely. We had started a bit late from Jespa that morning. We hadn't taken many long breaks, but we did spend that time at some time at Baralacha and Surajtal and few short hauls. We didn't rush. On the other hand, Nono had continued forward steadily after Pang, and by the end of the day he reached Upsi, and we, on the other hand, by the end of the day we just stayed right after Tanglangla. Now as we reached Tanglangla, it was dusk already. It was dark, but not totally dark. The wind turned icy, the sun was going down fast, but even then we felt a calm, a kind of peace that only can come from above. We did not panic, we trusted, and we kept going forward. Now in the next episode there will be a testimony about the deeper part of this journey, the ride, you can say, through the Tanglangla Pass. But even this part of this journey is full of grace. God protected us through freezing temperature, confusion, and the silent valley in the high altitude. At the same time, we did not feel afraid, and even the thoughts did come. The roads were so lonely, and it felt like as if we were just there alone. So anyways, so next part will be in the next video we'll be talking more about how God's grace was on us, and we'll be diving in much deeper into the story, and I can easily call it as a testimony video, the next one. So thank you so much for being with us in this journey. Until next time, stay safe and have a good time. See you soon. Bye bye.